Hello, and welcome to Cindy's Corner. Today, boys and girls, if you've got the book, Marley Goes to School, go get it so you can follow along. And I believe it's an AR book, too, so you can test on it. All right, Marley's got his backpack, and he's ready to go to school. Is he really going to school? Let's see. This is our title page, Marley Goes to School. It was written, so our author is John Grogan. Our illustrator who drew the pictures is Richard Caldry. Marley's ready, isn't he? It was the first day of school, and Cassie laid out her back to school supplies. Pencils, check. Crayons, check. Ruler, check. Paper, check. Marley was all set for the big day 2. By the front door, he laid out his supplies. Chew bone, woof. Squeaky toy, woof. Liver treats, woof. Favorite blanket, woof. Baby Louie crawled around the corner. "Want to go school too?" he exclaimed. Mommy looked at Marley, thumping his tail by the front door. "I don't think so, big guy," she said. "I definitely don't think so," said Daddy. "You silly dog," Cassie said, patting Marley on his big blocky head. "School's for kids, not dogs." Marley cocked his head and let out a low whine. Cassie was his best friend, and he was used to going everywhere she went. To the park, to the playground, to Grandma's house, even to bed. "Grab your backpack," Mommy called out. "We don't want to be late." "Urf, urf," Marley said, grabbing his leash in his teeth and hopping up on his hind legs and dancing by the door. "Arf, arf yourself," Mommy said. "You are going to the backyard where you can't get into trouble." "Good idea," said Daddy, and the whole family set off to walk Cassie to school. Sad. It's in the backyard. Oh, what's he done? Marley did not stay in the backyard for long. He started to dig, and he dug, and he dug, and dug, and the dirt flew behind him until it formed a giant pile, a regular Mount McMarley. Up flew Mommy's marigolds, out flopped Daddy's daffodils, away went Cassie's carrot patch. Soon he had cleared a nice, cozy tunnel under the backyard fence. With a wiggle and a waggle and a whip-whop of his tail, he belly crawled to freedom. Marley sniffed his way to the sidewalk, looked both ways, all clear, and followed Cassie's scent straight to the front door of the school. The front door was propped open. They're expecting me, Marley thought, and he walked in, right in. Down the hallway he trotted, stopping in each room in search of his beloved Cassie. Is it the copy machine? See that copy machine? It's making pictures of himself. Marley tried the copy center. Not in here, he thought. And then he took a moment to leave a calling card. He made pictures of himself. He tried the cafeteria where the cooks were busy making lunch. He did not find Cassie, but Marley found the next best thing, a heaping pile of juicy hot dogs. Well, I don't mind if I do. Hey, you're not supposed to be in here. One of the lunch ladies yelled. Shoo! Go home! Burp, answered Marley. He ate a lot, didn't he? And he trotted over to music class where the orchestra was warming up. She's not in here either, thought Marley. And he joined the band for a song. He's hitting the drum, isn't he? In science class, Marley did not find Cassie, but he did find a cage with 10 white mice inside. What are you doing in there? With a scratch of his paw and a flip of his nose, Marley busted open the cage door and the mice scampered to freedom. He barked excitedly as if to ask, who wants to help find Cassie? Marley followed the mice to the library where the quiet didn't last long. Mice! Screamed a little girl. Big fat ones! Shouted a little boy. Marley raced to the gymnasium where he had suddenly forgot all about Cassie. When that dog saw a ball, he could think only one thing. Catch me if you can. Hey, yelled the teacher. Hey, yelled the kids. Come back with our ball. He's off. But Marley did not come back. He streaked down the hall, skidded around the corner, did a somersault, and slid right into Mrs. Weatherby's math class. Mrs. Weatherby peered through her thick glasses as she wrote on the chalkboard. Oh my, she announced. We've just received a report of a wild animal on the loose in our school. If you come across this animal, stay back. He may be dangerous. Yes, Mrs. Weatherby, the students said. Has anyone seen him? No, Miss Weatherby, the students said. But they had seen him. And helped make sure that Mrs. Weatherby would not. When the bell rang, Marley's ears perked up. Outside, he heard the happy shrieks of children playing. There was no sound Marley loved more than the sound of children at play. He headed toward it. Not so fast, buddy boy, The voice came from behind him. Gulp. It was Principal Peabody. She seized Marley by the collar and read his tag. Ah, Cassie's dog. I should have figured. She tied Marley to the radiator with a rope. Face the corner, she said. I'm calling your parents. But when Principal Peabody returned 2 minutes later, all she found was a half of a rope wet with dog drool. Drat, she said. Chewed his way off, didn't he? Mm-hmm. There he goes, shouted Vice Principal Tanner. He's heading to the playground. I'll cut him off. I'll head him off, cried the gym teacher. I'm on his tail, declared Mrs. Weatherby, shaking her fist. Tackle him, screamed the lunch ladies. The grown-ups chased Marley across the playground. They chased him through the tunnel and over the tires and under the hoops. They chased him up the jungle gym and down the slide. They chased him past the swing set and around the teeter-totter. They chased him right into Cassie's arms. Marley, Cassie shrieked with delight. You did come to school. Is that your dog? Vice Principal Tanner asked. Cassie said. He looks somewhat familiar. There you are, Mommy and Daddy yelled. Bad dog, Marley. Ma, boo-boo, Waddy, Baby Louie said. Now, said Principal Peabody. All's well that ends well. And Marley was so happy, he jumped in the air and gave the principal a big, fat, sloppy kiss right on the lips. And Marley graduated as the teacher's pet. Were you ever a teacher's pet? Tell me if you were a teacher's pet. And tell me if your dog ever followed you to school, or if you had another pet that followed you to school. Tell me in your comments. I want to hear about your teacher's pet. I don't think Mrs. Coleman ever had pets. I liked them all. Make sure you give Marley Goes to School 2 thumbs up. And make sure you subscribe because you don't want to miss the next story. It is so fun on Cindy's Corner. So make sure you subscribe. Don't miss it.